Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to take you back to a moment in history that shaped the heart and soul of Denmark, a moment of courage, sacrifice, and lasting legacy. I'm speaking about the Battle of Isted, which took place exactly 175 years ago, on the 25th of July, 1850. This wasn't just any battle. It was, in fact, the largest land battle in Danish history, a turning point during the First Schleswig War. It was fought near the town of Isted, which today lies in northern Germany. On that battlefield, nearly 40,000 Danish soldiers faced off against more than 26,000 Schleswig-Holstein rebels, backed by German forces. And while the battle ended in a Danish victory, the cost was devastating. Hundreds of Danish soldiers were killed, and thousands more were wounded or went missing. It was a victory soaked in blood, pain, and deep national sorrow. To honor those brave soldiers, the 175th anniversary of the Battle of Isted was commemorated just recently. The ceremonies took place in two key locations, Flensburg and Isted, and they were led by none other than Her Royal Highness Princess Benedikte, who represented the Danish royal family with great dignity and respect. Let's talk first about Flensburg, or Flensburg, as it's known in German. At the Flensburg Old Cemetery, Princess Benedikte laid a wreath at the central Danish warrior's grave. Now, this grave is not just a monument, it's the final resting place of about 2,000 Danish soldiers who lost their lives in the battle. The princess stood in silence, a wreath in her hands, as she paid tribute to those who gave their lives for Denmark. It was a deeply moving moment, a royal act of remembrance on behalf of an entire nation. Later that same day, the princess traveled to Isted, the very site of the battle. There, she laid another wreath at the Isted Memorial Museum, a place that holds weapons, uniforms, personal letters, and stories from that fateful day in 1850. This museum helps preserve not just the facts of the battle, but the emotion and human cost behind it. And near that museum stands a powerful symbol, the Isted Lion, or Istedløven. This statue was originally erected in memory of the Danish soldiers who fought and died at Isted. Over the years, it was taken down, moved, and even kept in foreign hands during times of occupation and war. But today, it stands again as a symbol of reconciliation, and of how history, though painful, can bring people together. Now, it's important to remember that while Denmark won the Battle of Isted, the larger struggle over Schleswig and Holstein was far from over. Just over a decade later, in the Second Schleswig War, Denmark suffered a painful defeat and lost both duchies to Prussia and Austria. So the victory at Isted was temporary, but the bravery shown that day became eternal. That's why ceremonies like this anniversary matter. They remind us not only of what we've lost, but of who we are. And Princess Benedikte's presence made that message even more powerful. She may not be the reigning monarch, but she is a deeply respected figure within the royal family. She represents continuity, heritage, and duty, the very values that those Danish soldiers stood for all those years ago. Through her, the royal family continues to show its commitment to honoring Denmark's past, standing with those who remember, and ensuring that sacrifice is never forgotten. So as we reflect on the 175th anniversary of the Battle of Isted, let's remember the men who marched into battle that morning, young, determined, and ready to defend their country. Let's remember the families who grieved their loss, and the nation that carried forward their memory. Because history is not just something we read, it's something we carry. And through acts of remembrance like these, through wreaths laid in silence, and through the presence of leaders like Princess Benedikte, Denmark tells the world, we remember our past. We honor our heroes. And we will never forget. Thanks for watching, please like, share and subscribe my channel.